Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Hearty welcome to all of you to this Saturday Satsang. After a long time we are meeting again. Prostrations to Ramana, who shines as the Self in all beings. We begin today's Satsang with a prayer, which will be followed by the chanting of Muktaka trayam. Dakshinamurti Sarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Ramanacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Angikam Bhuvanam Yasya Vachikam Sarvavangmayam Aharyam Chandrataradi Tam Namah Satvikam Shivam Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya Ekamaksharam Hridhi Nirantaram Bhasate Swayam Likhyate Tatham Hridaya Kuhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram Yahamaham-iti Sakshat Atmarupena Bhati Hridhi Vishamanasa Swam Chinvatamacchatava Pavana Chalana Rodhat Atmanishto Bhavatvam Deham Vrinmaya Vajjadatmakam Aham Buddhirna Tasyastyato Naham Tattadabhavasupti Samaye Siddhatma Sadbhavataha Koham Bhavayutah Kuto Varadiya Drishtvatmanishtatmana Soham Spurtitaya Arunachala Shivaha Purno Vibhati Swayam Soham Spurtitaya Arunachala Shivaha Svayam. Namo Ramana. We'll now have the chanting of Upadesa Saram by Uma Sripathy.
Namo Ramana. Karturagneya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam kriti mahodadhau patana karanam phalamashashvatam gati nirodhakam ishwararpitam nechaya kritam chittashodhakam mukti sadhakam kaya vagmana कार्यमुत्तमं पूजनं जपश्चिन्तनं क्रमात् जगत ईषधी युक्तसेवनम् अष्टमूर्तिबृहद्देव पूजनम् उत्तमस्तवादुच्चमन्दत चित्तजं जप ध्यानमुत्तमम् आज्यधारया स्रोतसा समम् सरलचिन्तनम् विरलतः परम् वेदभावनात् सोऽहमित्यसौ भावनाभिदा पावनीमत भावशून्यसद्भावसुस्थिति भावनाबलात् भक्तिरुत्तमा हृत्स्थले मनः स्वस्थता क्रिया भक्तियोगबोधाश्च निश्चितम्. नमो रमण.
Namo Ramana. We will now have 4 songs from Ramananjali Sangeetam. The first song will be presented by Srimati V. Radha. The second song will be presented by Pratibha. The third song will be presented by Savitri, Krishnan and Jaisriram. The fourth song will be presented by Revathi Sankar.
Namo Ramana to all. Today we will be presenting a song written by Sri Lakshmana Sharma. The music is by Srimati Sulochana Natarajan. Om Tat Sadakyam Purusham Guhesham. Om Tat Sadakyam Purusham Guhesham. Nattartinashaya Shariravantam. Nattartinashaya Shariravantam. Modaswarupam Madhurasvabhavam. Modaswarupam Madhurasvabhavam. Ramanam bhajami tvamatmanatam. Ramanam bhajami bhajanti ye tvam parabhakti yukta. Bhajanti ye tvam parabhakti yukta. Galanti tesham nikilascha dosha. Galanti tesham nikilascha dosha. Vasheja mukti sakalapi siddhi. Vasheja mukti sakalapi siddhi. Tvamatmanatam Ramanam bhajami. Tvamatmanatam Ramanam bhajami. Tejasvino dina janascha bhaktya. Tejasvino dina janascha bhaktya. Sannidhim te Saranam vrajanti. Sannidhim te Saranam vrajanti. Rameta rupem Avakona divye tvamatmanatam Ramanam bhajami. Tvamatmanatam रमणं भजामि मादन्तरङ्गे निवसत्वनर्ग मादन्तरङ्गे निवसत्वनर्ग नादान्तवाक्ये सकलागहन्त्री नादान्तवाक्ये सकलागहन्त्री यतो हृदि त्वं न ततोऽस्ति वाच्यं यतो हृदि त्वं न ततोऽस्ति वाच्यं त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि। नमो रमण।
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. This is Sri Sadhu Om Swami's composition. Kannada translation is by R.N. Jaigopal and music by Vijay Bhaskar. ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವರೂಪ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವರೂಪ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಭಕ್ತರ ಹೃದಯ ಪ್ರದೀಪ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವರೂಪ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಭಕ್ತರ ಹೃದಯ ಪ್ರದೀಪ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವರೂಪ ಯೋಗಿರಾಜ ಸೂರ್ಯ ತೇಜನೆ ಭಾವೋನ್ಮುಖ ಯೋಗಿರಾಜನೆ ಸೂರ್ಯ ತೇಜನೆ ಭಾವೋನ್ಮಾದನೆ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಸನ್ನಿಧಿ ಶಾಂತಿಯ ವಾರಿದಿ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಸನ್ನಿಧಿ ಶಾಂತಿಯ ವಾರಿದಿ ತಾಪಸಿಗಳ ಭೂಷಣನೇ ತಾಪಸಿಗಳ ಭೂಷಣನೇ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವರೂಪ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಭಕ್ತರ ಹೃದಯ ಪ್ರದೀಪ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವರೂಪ ಜಪ ತಪಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹಿಮಾದ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ತಾಪದ ಬಳಲಿ ಜನ ಜಪ ತಪಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹಿಮಾದ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ತಾಪದ ಬಳಲಿ ಜನ ಕರುಣ್ಯ ಕಂಬ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರ್ಬಿಂಬ ಕರುಣ್ಯ ಕಂಬ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರ್ಬಿಂಬ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ತೋರಿಸುವ ಸುದಿನ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ತೋರಿಸುವ ಸುದಿನ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವರೂಪ ದೇವಾದಿಗಳು ತಪವನ್ನು ಗೈದ ಶಾಂತಿಯಲಿ ದೇವಾದಿಗಳು ತಪವನ್ನು ಗೈದಳು ಶಾಂತಿಯಲಿ ಮಹಿಮಾತ್ರೆಯ ಮಹೋನ್ನತ ಸಾರಲ್ ಮಹಿಮಾತ್ರೆಯ ಮಹೋನ್ನತ ಸಾರಲ್ ಶಿವಮೈ ತಾಳಿದ ಭೂಮಿಯಲಿ ಅರುಣಾಚಲದ ರೂಪಿನಲಿ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವರೂಪ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಭಕ್ತರ ಹೃದಯ ಪ್ರದೀಪ. ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವರೂಪ. ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಭಕ್ತರ ಹೃದಯ ಪ್ರದೀಪ. ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ನೀನೆ ಅರುಣಾಚಲ ಶಿವರೂಪ. ನಮೋ ರಮಣ.
இதய குகையே இருப்பிடமாக உதய கதிர்போல் உலகெல்லாம் ஒளிரும் அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. இதய குகையில் இருப்பிடமாக உதய கதிர்போல் உலகெல்லாம் ஒளிரும் அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. ரமணா 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 ரமணா. பேச்சிலும் ரமணன் மூச்சிலும் ரமணன் நினைப்பதும் ரமணன் நெஞ்சினில் ரமணன். பேச்சினில் ரமணன் மூச்சிலும் ரமணன் நினைப்பதும் ரமணன் நெஞ்சினில் ரமணன். மனத்திலே ரமணன் அனைத்திலும் ரமணன். மனத்திலே ரமணன் அனைத்திலும் ரமணன். அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. ரமணா 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 ரமணா. கற்பது ரமணன் நிற்பது ரமணன் இருப்பது ரமணன் ருசிப்பது ரமணன் நிற்பது ரமணன் இருப்பது ரமணன் ருசிப்பது ரமணன். உடுப்பது ரமணன் நடப்பது ரமணன் படுப்பது ரமணன் பிடிப்பது ரமணன். அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. ரமணா 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 ரமணா. மந்திரம் மணிமரம் வெந்திரம் அவனே சிந்தையும் அவனே செய்கையும் அவனே. மந்திரம் மணிமரம் வெந்திரம் அவனே சிந்தையும் அவனே செய்கையும் அவனே. அவனவளது நீ என நான் என உலவும் அவனியும் அவனே ஆருயிர் சிவனே. அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. ரமணா 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 ரமணா. இதய குகையே இருப்பிடமாக உதய கதிர்போல் உலகெல்லாம் ஒளிரும் அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா. ரமணா 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 ரமணா. ஓம் நமோ பகவதே ஸ்ரீ ரமணாய.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. When everything is Ramana, Harive, Arule, Anbe Ramana, then the Master is present in every object, every atom, every place. And when everything is Master, Master knows the right thing. Muruganar Swami has written, he says, Bhagavan is the master of right placement. Vaibhavji he has written. So he says in that he has kept love in the mother, he has kept knowledge in the father, and he has kept truth in the Vedas. He is the embodiment of truth. He has kept friendship or affection in the hearts. He has kept life in that affection. He has kept meaning to the life. He has given meaning to this life, and that he is the Mother Chinmayi. He is the embodiment of Chinmayi. He is the Rupa of Chinmaya. He has kept truth in our tongue. Bhagavan knows we have to. He knows when we are wrong. From within he will say, this is wrong. So he makes us say the truth. He makes us realize the truth from inside. And then he has given brightness. He has given beauty to the dharma, to the dharma aspect. And whoever believes in him, he gives abhaya to them. He gives full grace. He gives ashirvada to them. In oldness, like as we say, old is gold, he's kept newness in the old one. If you see a river, Ganga is the oldest river, but they say that we cannot take part in the same river. She keeps flowing. Every moment she is new, but she is the oldest. Bhagavan has kept newness in the old one. And he has kept pearls in shells. And he has kept peace in devotion. That is the Ananda Swarupa Ramana. Ramanananda. He is the Mukti Swarupa. He gives us liberation. He is the ultimate. Let us remember that the Master is the one who is the master of all the things. He's placed everything right. He does everything right at every moment. So let us have faith in him. Let us not forget that aspect, that he is the one who is doing everything. Presenting before you Muruganar Swami's Vaibhavji, a Kannada translation of this. Music by V.S. Narasimhan. Kannada translation by R.N. Jayagopal. ತಾಯಿಯಲಿ ಮಮತೆಯ ನೆಟ್ಟ, ತಂದೆಯಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ವೇದಗಳು ನಿಜ ನುಡಿ ಒಲುಗೈದ ವೆಂಕಟ ಸತ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ತಾಯಿಯಲಿ ಮಮತೆಯ ನಿಟ್ಟ, ತಂದೆಯಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ವೇದಗಳು ನಿಜ ನುಡಿ ಒಲುಗೈದ ವೆಂಕಟ ಸತ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ವೆಂಕಟ ಸತ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ನೇಹವ ಇಟ್ಟ, ಸ್ನೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಳನು ಇಟ್ಟ, ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ನೇಹವ ಇಟ್ಟ, ಸ್ನೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಳನು ಇಟ್ಟ, ಬಾಳಿಗೊಂದು ಅರ್ಥವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ವೆಂಕಟ ಚಿನ್ಮಯ ರೂಪ. ಬಾಳಿಗೊಂದು ಅರ್ಥವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ವೆಂಕಟ ಚಿನ್ಮಯ ರೂಪ. ತಾಯಿಯಲಿ ಮಮತೆಯ ನೆಟ್ಟ, ತಂದೆಯಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ವೇದಗಳು ನಿಜ ನುಡಿ ಒಲುಗೈದ ವೆಂಕಟ ಸತ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ವೆಂಕಟ ಸತ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ನಾಲಿಗೆಗೆ ಸತ್ಯವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ನ್ಯಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆರುಗನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ನಾಲಿಗೆಗೆ ಸತ್ಯವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ನ್ಯಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆರುಗನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ನಂಬಿದವರಿಗೆ ಅಭಯ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ನಂಬಿದವರಿಗೆ ಅಭಯ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ವೆಂಕಟ ಆನಂದ ರೂಪ. ನಂಬಿದವರಿಗೆ ಅಭಯ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ವೆಂಕಟ ಆನಂದ ರೂಪ. ವೆಂಕಟ ಆನಂದ ರೂಪ. ತಾಯಿಯಲಿ ಮಮತೆಯ ನಿಟ್ಟ, ತಂದೆಯಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ವೇದಗಳು ನಿಜ ನುಡಿ ಒಲುಗೈದ ವೆಂಕಟ ಸತ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ವೆಂಕಟ ಸತ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ಹಳತಿನಲಿ ಹೊಸತನು ಇಟ್ಟ, ಸಿಂಪಿಯಲಿ ಮುತ್ತನು ಇಟ್ಟ. ಹಳತಿನಲಿ ಹೊಸತನು ಇಟ್ಟ, ಸಿಂಪಿಯಲಿ ಮುತ್ತನು ಇಟ್ಟ. ಭಕ್ತಿಯಲಿ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಇಟ್ಟ ವೆಂಕಟ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ಭಕ್ತಿಯಲಿ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಇಟ್ಟ ವೆಂಕಟ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ವೆಂಕಟ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ತಾಯಿಯಲಿ ಮಮತೆಯ ನಿಟ್ಟ, ತಂದೆಯಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ವೇದಗಳು ನಿಜ ನುಡಿ ಒಲುಗೈದ ವೆಂಕಟ ಸತ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ವೆಂಕಟ ಚಿನ್ಮಯ ರೂಪ. ವೆಂಕಟ ಆನಂದ ರೂಪ. ವೆಂಕಟ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. Namo Ramana. We will now have reading and sharing from the book Ramana's Muruganath by Sri Nandakumarji.
Namo Ramana. In this, the book reading segment of our satsang, we have been reading from the book Ramana's Muruganath, a birth centenary celebration, Muruganar's centenary celebration, edited and compiled by our founder president, Shri A.R. Natarajan ji. We have the account by one of the founding members of Ramanacentre Center for Learning, Sulochana Natarajan. Amma was also the sole instrument from whom the whole vast Ramana Seva of Ramananjali Sangeetam has come up and from which we are benefiting all these years. We go through the account once again because it has been quite some time since the last satsang. She entitles the article as, the book's name is Ramana's Muruganath, and she entitles her article Ramana through Muruganath. Ramana through Muruganath by Sulochana Natarajan Amma. I had the rare good fortune of having the darshan of Bhagwan when I was hardly 12 years old. My pious parents took me and my younger brother to him. My later life shows that the look of the master never fails to do its work. Though he alone knows when in time it will bear fruit. Though he alone knows when in time it will bear fruit. I was introduced to Muruganar's compositions by Professor K. Swaminathan in the late 60s. He gave me a copy of Muruganar's Ramana Sannidhi Murai and told me that he himself had been drawn to Bhagavan through Muruganar's work. He would never tire of repeating this fact whenever an opportunity arose. He would say that the best way to enjoy the glory of Bhagavan's life and the teachings was through Muruganar's poetry. On his insistent and affectionate request, I started singing Muruganar's compositions. I have no doubt in my mind that it is this which is responsible for making Bhagavan an integral and vital part of my life. I came from a family which has deep roots in Carnatic music. I had received special coaching in it from my grandmother, who was an authority in Carnatic music. My parents ensured that I had the best grounding by engaging the services of several eminent teachers. Though I was sound in technicalities and had a special flavor for swaras, my voice always used to give me trouble. It seemed as if all this knowledge and natural talent was to go waste. All this changed when I began to sing Muruganar's songs, and Bhagavan came into my life in a big way. My voice, which was my undoing, became my asset. There would be no diffidence of any sort, and there would be an easy confidence while rendering Ramana music. Muruganar's blessings and Ramana's grace had worked a miracle. My talent began to flower fully, and I have so far set to music more than 100 compositions of Bhagavan, Ganapati Muni, Muruganar, and other great devotees. Since Muruganar's songs were in Pand music, which has 103 ragas, from Dandapani Odwar, I learned this style of singing used by Shaivite saints. This music, though allied to Carnatic music, has its own individual special features. Some of the ragas of Carnatic music are so close to Pand ragas. For instance, Harikamboji is termed Kurinji in Pand music and is sung with great devotional fervor by Odwars, specialists in Tamil devotional songs. Between 1966 and 1973, Bhagavan provided me with many opportunities to meet Muruganar. Though I had met him earlier also, it was only in this period that I was intimately drawn to him. I used to sing his compositions from Ramanacentre. Tears would run down Muruganar's cheeks, particularly when I sang Namo Ramanayave, salutation to Ramana, and Vaitapathu, which Revathi Ma was singing. Vaitapathu, proper placing. The memory of those days is still green in my mind. On the first occasion when I sang Namo Ramanayave, my daughters Sarada and Ambika sang some Sanskrit songs. I had not taught them Tamil songs. Muruganar gently suggested that I should do so, and I assured him that by the time of our next trip, this would be done. However, that evening, I taught them a simple composition of Muruganar's, Samaya Meedani Nimala Varmuta. This now is the time. Give me a pure life. On hearing it the next day, Muruganar was happy and blessed them specially. It seems to me that from that day, in some mysterious way, His grace is on us, enabling us to sing about the limitless bounty and beauty of Bhagavan. The wife of Muruganar, Meenakshi Mami, a simple and innocent person, would also press us to sing Muruganar songs and delight in them. One lifetime is not enough to dive deep into the world of Muruganar songs. Muruganar had sound knowledge of music. His very composition, Ramana Desika Padigam, Ramana the teacher, was in Carnatic Raga Kambodi. In his compositions, he would indicate the raga or the pand. Some compositions have always had a special appeal for me. The first song which I would like to refer to is Ayal Ninaya Patte, of None But You, I think. This is the Pand Raga Natai, Pantuvarali in Carnatic music, Rupakatala. It is to be sung like the Tevaram song, Ponnar Meniyane. The meaning of some of the verses runs this. To Aruna, rich with sandalwood from Tiruchuli, Venkata, you came, and cast your gracious welcoming glance on this poor wretch, of whom but you, O mother, can I think henceforth. O dancer, who with lovely red lips ever smiling, ever dwell in the devotees' hearts, and on Aruna hill, Venkata, you graciously drew me to you and gave me comfort. Of whom but you, my master, father, can I think henceforth? I would also like to refer to another composition of Muruganar in the same raga, but in Aditala. This is to be sung in the same way as the Tevaram song, Enna Punyam Sedenu. The verse selected is from Adbhuta Path, miracle. Proud I wandered, being deluded by the thought that the body was I. God Venkata said, no, not that. Ask who am I? And when the fierce, proud ego dies, then what abides as being? That you are. Saying this, he made me his. Nay, his own self. How did this miracle happen? Proud I wandered, being deluded by the thought the body was I. God Venkata said, no, not that. Ask who am I? And when the fierce, proud ego dies, then what abides as being? That you are. Saying this, he made me his. Nay, his own self. How did this miracle happen? Muruganar composed Ramana Vaibhavam, glory of Ramana, in Attanavaraga, in the Yal Muritpan, at the request of a staunch devotee, Ramana Padananda. This is a complex pun with a meter that would break, that is Muri, the Veena, Yal, if one attempts to play the melody on the Veena. Such is the story behind this pun. But in this intricate pun, one finds Muruganar's simple and supreme love flowing. I think we will enjoy this reading once more, at least the verses again in our next reading. I'll read the last part and stop for today. Proud I wandered, being deluded by the thought that the body was I. God Venkata said, no, not that. Ask who am I? And when the fierce, proud ego dies, then what abides as being? That you are. Saying this, he made me his. Nay, his own self. How did this miracle happen? Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Namo Ram.
Murugan. It's always a joy to listen to Muruganar Swami's the reminiscences of being with Muruganar, either Akka's reminiscences or Sulochana's reminiscences. It's very beautiful because every time we think of Muruganar Swami takes us back to the self by remembering Bhagavan. And beautifully, Nandakumarji read out the last verse saying, who am I? Who am I? Let us practice that who am I? Sri Dileep Simha will be taking us through the self-enquiry session by reading and then giving us the practice of self-enquiry also.
Morning. Dhyayet Sharadachandrasuntaramukam Tamravikshanam Bhaktabhishtavarabhayapradakaram Kaupirama Ujwalam Svatmanandarasanubhutivivasham Sarvanavatyangakam Vimantam Shri Ramaneshwaram Guruvaram Yogasanam Dhyasitam Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Hridaya Kuhara Madhye Kevalam Brahmamatram Yahamaham Sakshat Atmarupeda Bhati Hrudi Vishamanasa Swam Jinvata Majjatava Pavana Chalanarodha Atmanishto Bhavatvam. Ramana. We will commence the Atma Vicharam by listening to Bhagavan's Upadesham. I'll be reading his Upadesham from the book Guru Vachaka Kovai from the chapter Investigation into the Truth. The topic is humility, verse 494. The position of human beings will improve to the extent that they behave with humility towards others. The reason for God's supremacy, the reason why the whole world bows low before him, is surely, is it not, his exalted nature of not possessing a deluded ego that rises even inadvertently. I repeat the verse. The position of human beings will improve to the extent that they behave with humility towards others. The reason for God's supremacy, the reason why the whole world bows low before him, is surely, is it not, his exhausted nature of not possessing a deluded ego that rises even advertently. Bhagavan says in Padamalai, a humble attitude of mind will give you redemption, transporting you to the world of the immortals. Without humility, you will drown in the pitch blackness of hell. Humility. Sahana Chala Shri Arunachala, says Bhagavan. So, that is the nature of the self, where there is absolutely no ego, no identification with anything, nor disidentification. In there, the self shines completely equipoised on everything. Therefore, that state of the God or the Guru, Bhagavan here says, is to which everything would bow down, because it is pure mauna, pure silence, pure stillness, where there is no idea of two. There is no idea of two, there is nothing to hold on to. Like whenever the ego is there, it thinks that it is a conscious entity, and then there is this body or an idea, a lofted idea, or an object to which it has to cling on, and then possess that it is holding on to this or it is having this. Whereas in the self, there is no duality. So wherein, when all the duality is gone, there is no ego, there is nothing to hold on to. In there, what is humility, where there is nothing to say that I like this or I dislike this. That is the nature of the self. That is the nature of the Guru or the God. So Bhagavan is saying here, when we inquire truly who am I and figure out what we really are, then humility is found to be our nature. But if we let go that and hold on to any idea, anything to do, or even if we think there is something dual for us to persuade, then comparisons and all things will come up immediately, and we will be drowned in the hell, says Bhagavan. We will be drowned in all these comparisons, in all these rights and wrongs and all of that. Instead, if we can hold on to that truth, there lies the true redemption, because there is nothing apart for us to redeem ourselves. We find the self is equally there without likes and dislikes, with always present in an equipoised state. And that is the true humility. Bhagavan says, for that we need to inquire. Every time a thought rises, every time an object appears, every time a sense of duality rises, we should immediately inquire, to whom is this? Obviously, the answer will be for me. And that would be the ego, which is perceiving the duality, that is seeing the object. What enables it? So, who am I really? When we really inquire, what do I really refer to as I? Then that pure being, that pure consciousness, which has no duality, is found to be one's own natural state. And in that, there is nothing apart. And therefore, it is the most humble state naturally available to us. Bhagavan's immense grace, for the next 10 minutes, no matter how many thoughts come, no matter what is the nature of those thoughts, we should diligently inquire, to whom is this? Who am I? And get back to our real nature, even it is with effort, until it becomes effortless by His grace. With His abundant grace, for the next 10 minutes, let us practice Atma Vichar. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramana. Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana. We will now have the sharing of Ramanacentre by Sri Ujwal Jagadeesh.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. In this part of the satsang, we were meditating on the verses of Ramanacentre written by Kavya Kanta Vasishta Ganapati Muni, and they have been compiled and given to us as Ramanacentre by Bhagavan Ramana himself. We were on the verse 37, where Ramana is described as all divine mothers. देवी शक्तिरियं दृशोश्रितजन ध्वान्तक्षयादायिनी देवीं श्रीरियम् अम्बुजाक्षमहिषी वक्त्रे सहस्रच्चदे देवी ब्रह्मवदूरियं विजयते व्याहारगूढापर विश्वाचार्य महानुभाव रमण त्वां स्तौतुक प्राकृतः रमणं गुरुं नमामि रमणं गुरुं नमामि रमणं गुरुं नमामि रमणं गुरुं नमामि देवी शक्ति ನಿನ್ನ ನೋಟದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲೆಸಿ ಅಹಂಕಾರವ ನಶಿಪಳು ದೇವಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಅಂಬುಜಾಕ್ಷನ ರಮಣಿ ಸಹಸ್ರಾಭಿನಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಬಳು ದೇವಿ ವಾಣಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನ ರಾಣಿ ನಿನ್ನ ನಡತೆಯ ಸೊಗಸಿನಲಿ ಚಿಮ್ಮುವಳು ವಿಶ್ವಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಮಹಾನುಭಾವ ರಮಣ ಮಾನವ ನಿನ್ನೆಂತು ಸ್ತುತಿಪನು ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮಿಸುವೆ ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮಿಸುವೆ ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮಿಸುವೆ ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮಿಸುವೆ. Ganapati Muni says, how can an ordinary man understand your glory? In Aksharamanamalai, Bhagavan Ramana sings of Arunachala himself, Taigintani Karuni. You are far more kinder than one's own mother who bore us. Everybody says that the mother is the one who is epitome of love. But, oh divine mother Ramana, you are far more kinder than one's own mother. So how can we ever describe your karuna, your love towards us? You, just by your glance, you destroy the ajnanandakara, the darkness of ignorance of the devotees. And you are that Mother Lakshmi who gives us the wealth. And what is that wealth that you are giving? The wealth of understanding our own true value, that each one of us are so valuable. But we are always searching for small wealth, which is useless in the world. But to understand that the happiness does not lie in anything outside. The true happiness is within. The Shri is within. You are that mother who has come to remind us of our own wealth. And you are the consort of Brahma. Brahma, who is said to be the author of all the Vedas, and you are his consort, and you with your sweet words, you take us back to the essence of Vedas. And what is that essence of Vedas? It is to get back to our own true nature, which is silence. You are that Paravak, which has the power to take us back to that silence. And you are all these three mothers. And how can we describe your glory, says Gadapati Muni. In one of our dance ballet, Ramana Mahashakti, there's a beautiful scene of Jackie. The Jackie comes to the ashram and Ramana calls him with lot of love and makes him one among the devotees. And Jackie used to be sitting in one place. Some devotees had gifted him a small piece of orange cloth. So on that saffron robe, he used to sit down and keep staring at Ramana's beautiful face. And if some sweets was brought, some eatables was brought to the ashram, Ramana used to touch it and take his share and say, please share it with everyone equally. There's a beautiful one archival movie where the devotees bring some groundnuts and Ramana takes a handful of groundnuts and the groundnut is distributed between all the devotees. And when it was distributed between all the devotees, even Jackie used to get his part of his share of the food. And he never used to quickly see the food and start eating. He used to keep staring at Ramana's face. And when Ramana took the first morsel, he used to turn towards the food and start eating his share. And again, turn his attention towards the beautiful face of Ramana. This was his daily routine. And once, I think around summertime, usually in the hall becomes hot. So the couch of Bhagwan was placed near the well. And when Ramana was sitting near the well and all the devotees surrounding him, and Jackie was one among them, a stray dog entered the ashram. And the stray dog started barking at Jackie. And when it started barking at Jackie, the Jackie also got disturbed and he started growling at that stray dog. And Ramana noticed this and he turned towards Jackie with all compassion. And he told Jackie, oh Jackie, if you open your eyes, you may get distracted. So close your eyes and look within. Look within, said Bhagavan. And that was the Diksha given to Jackie. And immediately Jackie closed his eyes and started looking within. The author who reports this event says Jackie immediately closed his eyes and started looking within, but all the other devotees were staring at the stray dog which was barking. Such was the compassion of Bhagavan that the true devotees, in any form they are, the mother, all her children are children. She loves everyone equally. Maybe it's a dog or maybe it's a human being. There's no difference. That's what we see in Ramana's life, that he was full of love to all the beings and he even initiated Jackie to look within and abide as the self. And we have this beautiful song where Jackie is expressing his gratitude to Ramana. Oh Ramana, you gave me the initiation. Where did you learn all these things? Maybe it is from the three goddesses that he mentions here. Akkareya notadinda ಆನಂದ ಸವಿಯ ತಂದ ಅಕ್ಕರೆಯ ನೋಟದಿಂದ ಆನಂದ ಸವಿಯ ತಂದ ದೀಕ್ಷೆ ತಂದನೋ ನನಗೂ ದೀಕ್ಷೆ ತಂದನೋ ನನಗೂ ದೀಕ್ಷೆ ತಂದನೋ. Ramana has initiated me. And how has he initiated me? With his glance, which is filled with so much of love. He has initiated me. ಪುಟ್ಟ ಚಿಗುರು ಕಣ್ಣ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲು ಸೂರ್ಯನೆಡೆಗೆ ದಿಟ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿದಾಗ ಮೋಡಗಳ ಮುಸುಕನುಟ್ಟು ಸೂರ್ಯ ತನ್ನ ಜ್ವಾಲೆಯನ್ನು ತಂಪಾಗಿಸಿ ತೋರುವನು, ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ ಕಿರಣ ಬೀರುವನು. ನಾನು ಗುರುವ ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಂತು ಕಣ್ಣನೆತ್ತಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಕರುಣೆ ತಂಪು ಮುಸುಕನುಟ್ಟು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಕಾಂತಿ ಬೀರಿದನು. ಮೀನನಯನ ಮಾತೆಯಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಲಿತನೋ ರಮಣ, ಇದನ್ನು ಕಲಿತನೋ. ಮೀನನಯನ ಮಾತೆಯಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಲಿತನೋ ರಮಣ, ಇದನ್ನು ಕಲಿತನೋ. When a small sprout, it comes out and it spreads out as small leaves, and the leaves are searching for the sunlight. When it is searching for the sunlight, if the sun is very, very hot and he shows his sharp rays towards that little sprout, then the sprout may get destroyed. But the supreme love is such that the sun, he covers himself with the cloud of compassion, and he gives the right amount of sunlight required for that small sprout, and he protects it and he nurtures it. Similarly, when I came in front of Bhagavan, Bhagavan is the fire of knowledge. Ujwalaya Namaha is one of the names. He is the fire of knowledge. But he is also that very same Shiva, with just by his one glance, he could destroy the Kamadeva. Just by just one smile, he could destroy the Tripura. Such powerful is his sight, but he's so compassionate that he disguised his Jnana Jwale into a beautiful form which I could relate, and he, with his compassionate glance, gave me the Diksha. How would have he learnt this? Jackie guesses maybe he would have learnt it from Mother Meenakshi Amman. The Meenakshi Amman who is known for her Nayana Diksha. The Meena Diksha, how a mother fish, how it through its eyes it gives the warmth to the fish eggs and she hatches them. You have learnt this Vidya, the Nayana Vidya, from Meenakshi Amman, says Jackie, and continues, Akkadaya notadinda ಆನಂದ ಸವಿಯ ತಂದ ಕಣ್ಣ ಬಿಡಲು ಅರಿಯದಂತ ಸಣ್ಣ ಮರಿಯು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದೊಡನೆ ಬೆಕ್ಕು ಕೊಳೆಯಲೆಂದು ನೆಕ್ಕಿ ಸವರಿ ಪೊರೆವಳು. ಅಜ್ಞಾನದ ಕತ್ತಲಲ್ಲಿ ಗುರುವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ದಿಟ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಅರಿಯದಂತೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಕೃಪೆಯ ಕಳಚಿಕೊಂಡು ಮತ್ತೆ ತಿರುಗಿ ಬೀಳ್ವೆನೋ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮರುಳ ಹಿಡಿವೆನೋ ಎಂದೆಣಿಸಿದ ಕರುಣೆ ಕಡಲು ಕಂದ ನನ್ನ ಬಳಿಗೆ ಕರೆದು ತಲೆಯ ಸವರಿ ಮುದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಳೆಯ ಕಳಚಿ ಹೊಳೆಸಿದನು. ಸಿರಿಯ ಸುರಿವ ಮಾತೆಯಿಂದ ಇದನು ಕಲಿತನೋ ರಮಣ, ಇದನು ಕಲಿತನೋ. ಕೋಮಲಕರ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶದಿ ಕೈವಲ್ಯ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ಉಣಿಸಿದನು. ದೀಕ್ಷೆ ತಂದನೋ ರಮಣ, ದೀಕ್ಷೆ ತಂದನೋ ಗುರು, ದೀಕ್ಷೆ ತಂದನೋ. Just like how a mother cat, she licks the baby cat and she removes all the dirt. Similarly, although I have seen the Guru in my life, but my mind may wander here and there. I may go here and there and get caught in some danger or the other. So before I could get caught in that danger, he quickly came, and just like how a kitten mother catches hold of the kitten and takes it to a safer place, he caught me and he drew me close to him, and with his gracious hands he touched me and he cleansed me and made me shine. From whom has he learned this? He would have learned this from that mother who showers all her grace. For Kanaka, for Adi Shankaracharya, when he prayed to Mother Lakshmi, "Oh Lakshmi, here is this lady who does not have anything except this old dried gooseberry which she has offered it to me. Please fill her house with all your grace." And what did Mahalakshmi do? She showered the Kanakadhara. She showered golden gooseberries all in her courtyard. Such is the grace of that mother who showers grace more than what we deserve. So such is the glory of Mother Ramana, who has called me and who has touched me and who has made me shine. ಅರಿವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತಲೇ ಮರಿಯು ಅತ್ತ ಇತ್ತ ಓಡಿ ಅಪಾಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಲುಕುವಂತ ಪರಿಯ ನೋಡಿದೊಡನೆ ತಾಯಿ ದನಿಯಿಂದ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಸಿ ತನ್ನೆಡೆಗೆ ಕರೆಯುವಳು. ದೀಕ್ಷೆಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದ ಮೇಲೂ ಆಕಾಂಕ್ಷೆ ಬಿಡದಂತ ಎನ್ನ ಮನವನೆಚ್ಚರಿಸಿ ತನ್ನ ನೆಲೆಯೇ ನಿಲ್ಲುವಂತೆ ಘನಮಾಯೆಯ ಹರಿಸಿದನೋ. ವೇದವಾಣಿ ಮಾತೆಯಿಂದ ಇದನು ಕಲಿತನೋ ರಮಣ, ಇದನು ಕಲಿತನೋ. ದಯ ತುಂಬಿದ ದನಿಯಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮನಾದ ಕೇಳಿಸಿದ, ದೀಕ್ಷೆ ತಂದನೋ ರಮಣ, ದೀಕ್ಷೆ ತಂದನೋ. When we are a small child, we don't know anything. We are completely surrendered to the mother. We are like that, the kittens. Only mother has to take care. But as our arivu beleyutale, as we become intelligent, we think that we can take care of ourselves. When we have this feeling, then we may go out and we may get caught in the Maya. So before that happens, Ramana quickly puts a check, and with his compassionate voice, his compassionate words, he quickly calls us, "Don't go there. Come, come, come," he calls. He is the Atmanada, which is calling us constantly. You think that outside there is joy, but there is no joy outside. The true happiness is within. And that's what he did to the little squirrels who were lying who were the orphan squirrels who were being taken care of by Ramana. And they were slowly, as they were growing, they wanted to go outside the basket and explore the world. And what was Ramana doing? Slowly, compassionately picking up each little squirrel, and putting it back to the basket. Again, when the squirrel was going out, slowly he was picking it up and putting it back to the basket. Such was his compassion. And one devotee, when he came and told, "Oh Bhagavan, the mind is constantly getting agitated. It is getting distracted. It is always moving outwards. What should I do?" And Ramana replied, "This is what we need to do. When the mind is trying to go outside, you have to remind the mind, telling that outside there is only danger. The true happiness and safety is within. So you need to pull the mind and put it back to his true home, which is the heart." And this is the sadhana which Ramana has given. And whenever we get astray in our sadhana, he is so compassionate. He comes and he reminds us in the form of either a satsang, or through words of satsangis, or through a book, or through a song, or through a drama that we are doing, or through a dance that we are choreographing. Slowly he reminds us to get back to our own true nature, which is Chinmayi, which is the lap of that divine mother. She is waiting for us. We are busy playing with the toys in the world, but she is all compassionate and she is full of patience. And she is waiting for us to return. And as soon as we return, she is ready to embrace us and make us one with herself. That Chinmayi is Ramana. And Ramana has come in this human form in our lives to remind us of that presence of Chinmayi so that we turn towards her presence and we abide in her. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
Namo Ramana. We will now have the sharing of verses from Ramana Ashtottaram by Dr. Sarada.
Namo Ramana. Prostrations to Ramana, shining as the self in all beings. With the immense grace of the self manifest as Ramana, we in this part of the satsang are meditating on the Ramana Ashtottara Shatanamavali, the Ashtottara Stotram and the Shatanamavali have been composed by Vishwanatha Swami. The Namavali is what is used for the puja, in which each of the namas is separate, and in the Stotram, all the namas are strung together as verses, as shlokas. Now we are meditating on the namas, one set of namas, after Vishwanatha Swami has hailed him as Virupaksha Guhavasaya Namaha. Then we have the namas Viraja Dachalakrataye Namaha, Uddipta Nayanaya Namaha, Purnaya Namaha. And we were meditating on these namas and we came to the nama Purnaya Namaha, that Ramana who is full. The name Ramana means the self. Ramana means that which is dear to everyone. The Nama Ramana has come right in the beginning of the Ashtotram. The second Nama, Mahasena Mahumshena Jataya Namaha, Om Sri Ramanaya Namaha. So here he is talking of the one who is Purna. Because in the scriptural adjuncts we hear repeatedly the great scholars telling us that the scriptures say the knower of Brahman becomes verily Brahman. Who is a knower of the self becomes actually the self itself. So, Bhagavan remaining every moment in that great abidance in the self is verily the self, which is full and which alone is full. The other day, Nandakumarji was saying how the ego keeps trying to fulfill itself, trying to make itself complete by adding on something to itself, by holding on to something or the other. Why? Because it is incomplete, because it can never be complete. It is actually a bottomless pit. The ego, forget that it is a bottomless pit. Bhagavan Ramana says, it has no form at all. It has no Swayam Virupaha. He says in the 25th verse of Ulladu 40, he says this ego has no form. But what does it do? It is constantly feeding on forms. How does it feed on forms? By grasping them. How does it grasp them? In the mind, in the form of a thought. The moment the ego has a thought, it is actually eating something. It is actually savoring something. But why does it want to do it? Because it is itself incomplete and it can never become complete. The ego can never be complete. The I thought can never be complete because it is, forget that it cannot be completed. It is actually having no existence of its own. But it is what Bhagavan says, it's formless. Then what is the use? If you keep putting something into that which is formless, what will happen? If you put something into something, if there is a base, if there is a form, say we want to, as little children, we were taught to have what is called a piggy bank. There will be a small box which has a key, an opening space with a key. But it will also have a small hole into which we can put coins. And those days we used to put coins. Maybe we can put rupees also. Some small coins will be there, 5 paisa, 10 paisa. Just keep on putting in. Those days, 5 paisa, 10 paisa used to be there. So also there would be 25 paisa, 50 paisa, 1 rupee coin. So if you keep on putting these coins one by one, what will happen is they will all, one day, that little box will become full. Then one can open it with the key and use whatever is there. This is also called a hundi. In temples, they have something called a hundi, where devotees put small amounts or big amounts, whatever they want to put in there, the money is gathered together. But this is because there is a boundary to the box. However, if we are putting something into a box which has a hole on the other side, what will happen to all the money? It will just go away. The box can never become full if it has a leak. If a pot has a leak, then how will water be filled in that pot? And it is said by the great ones again that this body of ours has so many openings, so many holes that if you pour water into it, it will all be always coming out. It will be getting out. The energies which are poured in are going in. The energies which are inside are going out through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, through the mouth. All the energies are going out with attention to the external object. And inside also, what do? We are constantly pushing our attention onto thoughts. So those are the internal objects. And because whatever is put in, no matter how many things the individual ego may appear to have achieved, again it ends up feeling incomplete. Again it ends up feeling empty. Because it's a bottomless pit. It can never be completed. By very nature, it is limited. It has a boundary. Because what is this ego? It is the I am so and so thought. The thought that I am Sarada, or I am X, or I am Y. Now, when this thought is there, and it has limited itself, how can it ever find fullness? So, it is always apurna. It is always incomplete. However, the self is ever complete. The self is always full. And only the self is always. Everything else is bound by space and time. That which is bound by space and time, how can it ever be full? It is bound, it is limited, it cannot be full. Even the ocean has its boundaries, such a vast entity like the ocean. Somebody asked Bhagavan, is not compassion as wide as the ocean? Bhagavan Ramana said, oh no, the ocean has boundaries, but the grace of the Sadguru, the grace of the Lord has no boundaries at all. It is boundless. You cannot even compare it to an ocean. That's what Bhagavan said. So, the ocean also is not Purna. It is incomplete. And that is the case. That is one of the biggest entities that we know, where you can put in as much of water, all the rivers will come into the ocean. The ocean does not flood. Neither does the ocean deplete if there are no monsoons on 1 or 2 occasions. So the ocean is full. That is the example which we can see. But such an ocean is also not full because it has boundaries. And there is a great Vedic statement, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. So it is said, Purnamada Purnamidam. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Purnameva Avashishyate. So whenever something is taken out of the fullness still remains full. That which is taken out is also full. Why? Because there is, in the fullness, it cannot go anywhere away from the fullness. When there is a boundary, if something is taken from within that boundary, one may move out of that boundary. But when there is fullness, where can anybody go? If something is taken out of the fullness, where can it go? Away from the fullness. It cannot go anywhere else. So it remains ever full, says the devotee. And this is the word which Vishwanatha Swami gives. This is the epithet which Vishwanatha Swami gives to Bhagavan to put our minds at rest. When Bhagavan is the fullness and Bhagavan alone is the fullness, what are we going to get by searching for anything else? We can never get true satisfaction by searching for anything else. We can only get contentment by getting back to the self, which alone is fullness. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. The fullness is full, ever full. You take out something from it, that is also full. This does not get depleted, that is also full. That is not one part of the fullness. From the fullness, you can divide, subtract, add, minus. Anything which you do, it will remain as the fullness. That fullness is the self. That fullness is Ramana, which we seek to get us over the malady of limitation, of boundaries. To help us to cross this limitation, we turn to Bhagavan and we meditate on this Nama, Om Purnaya Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Shrivate.
Namo Ramana. We will now have the chanting of Aksharamanamalai by Srimati Radha.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. பொடியாமயக்கியன் போதத்தை பறித்து உன் போதத்தை காட்டினை அருணாச்சலம். போக்கும் வரவுமில் பொது வெளியின் அருள் போராட்டம் காட்டருணாச்சலா. பௌதிகமாமுழல் பற்று அற்று நாளும் முன் பவிசு கண்டுர அருள் அருணாச்சலாம். மலை மருந்திட நீ மலை திடவோ அருள் மலை மருந்தாயொழில் அருணாச்சலாம். மானம் கொண்டுருபவர் மானத்தை அழித்த விமானம் இல்லாதொழிர் அருணாச்சலம். மிஞ்சிடில் கெஞ்சிடும் கொஞ்சி வரிவனியன் வஞ்சியாதருள் என்னை அருணாச்சலம். மீகாமன் இல்லாமல் மாகாத்தலை கலம் மாகாம காத்தருள் அருணாச்சலம். முடியடி காணா முடிவிடுத்தனை நேர் முடிவிட கடலினை அருணாச்சலம். மூங்கிலின் முக்காட்டு முகுர மகாதனை தூக்கி அணைந்தருள் அருணாச்சலம். மெய்யகத்தின் மனமென் மலரண இல்லம்மை கலந்திட அருள் அருணாச்சலம். மேன்மேல் தாழ்ந்திடு மெல்லியர் சேர்ந்து நீ மேன்மயுற்றனையன் அருணாச்சலா. மைமய நீத்தருள் மையினருனது உண்மை வசமாக்கினை அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ 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 அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சலம் அன்பர்களும் அக்ஷரமணமாலை நமோ ரமணா.
Namo Ramana. We will conclude today's satsang with the Ashtottara puja to Bhagwan. The Ashtottara puja will happen at Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning Meditation Hall by Ujwal Jagadeesh. The chanting of Ashtottara will be done by Vaibhavji, Prarthana and Uma Sripathy. We will conclude with the Arati song by Pratibha. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
नमो रमणा। भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितं श्री रमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्विमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। ॐ महासेन महंसेन जाताय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः। ॐ गुरवे नमः। ॐ अखण्ड संविदाकाराय नमः। ॐ महौजसे नमः। ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ जगद्धितावताराय नमः। ॐ श्री भूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः। ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः। ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः। ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः। ॐ सहायाम्बा सहायवते नमः। ॐ शोणाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः। ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः। ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः। ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः। ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः। ॐ तीव्राय नमः। ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः। ॐ इन्दुमौलिना पितृमते नमः। ॐ पितुरादेशतः शौर्णशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः। ॐ तपोमयाय नमः। ॐ उदासीनाय नमः। ॐ महायोगिने नमः। ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः। ॐ कुशाग्रदिये नमः। ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसंरम्भाय नमः। ॐ सुसन्द्रशे नमः। ॐ सवित्रे नमः। ॐ स्थिराय नमः। ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ फुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः। ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः। ॐ चूतवाट्यां समासीनाय नमः। ॐ चूर्णिताखिल विभ्रमाय नमः। ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः। ॐ त्रिगुणातिगाय नमः। ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः। ॐ विराजदचलाकृतये नमः। ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः। ॐ पूर्णाय नमः। ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः। ॐ गम्भीराय नमः। ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः। ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः। ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणास्यनिभाय नमः। ॐ धीराय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः। ॐ स्वराजे नमः। ॐ महर्षये नमः। ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ ईद्याय नमः।
ॐ भूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः। ॐ विमलाय नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्री शोणाचलहृद्भूतस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्चिन्न संशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादगसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ हृच्छान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणात्मन्दमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसारार्णवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणाद्रीशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। ॐ अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः।
ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते नमः। श्री अष्टोत्तर शतनाम पूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थाणोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः नृत्याजनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रह सुप्रवाह विवशस्तादात्म्यभावं गतः तन्निष्ठस्वकबीर नित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनास्येकराट् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नम इदं लोकोत्तर ज्योतिष। नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि दर्शन सुख मंगल मुख सकल जीव हित सम्मुख ब्रह्म संगिये सदा तुष्ट सदा हृष्ट सदा शिवानंद पुष्ट परम महर्षि ब्रह्मनिष्ठ समदर्शी नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि ನಮ್ಮ ಮನವದೊಂದು ಕಾಡು ನೀನರಿತೆಯೇ ಅದರ ಜಾಡು ಹಿತವನರಿತು ನೀಡು ತೆಮ್ಮ ಕೊರೆಯ ತಣಿಸಲೈ ಬೇಡಲೆಂದು ಬಂದ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿಯೇ ತಣಿವೆವಯ್ಯ ಮೋಡಿಗಾರನೇ ಹಿತವ ನುಡಿತ ಪೊರೆ ನಮ್ಮನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಂಗಿಯೇ ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣ ಸದಾಶಿವ ಪ್ರಭಾವರ್ಣ ನಮೋ महर्षि नमो महर्षि बोलो भगवान श्री रमण महर्षि की